Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We have Trish here. How is
Hello.
everyone tonight?
Coffee. That's the answer for everything. Coffee. Coffee. Peace, love, coffee, and chocolate. Come on.
Oh, geez.
You can't argue with any of those, really.
I know.
You can try. You can try, but I'm prepared to defend those.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of people are coming in now. So the title of this video is called The Great Reset. Yes?
I guess.
Okay. So
If that,
Trish, you have, oh, we already have a question. Hang
thank
on.
you. Thank
Oh
you.
my goodness, yes.
I don't
Says
want to start
question
there.
for Trish. What will happen to the euro and pound if the dollar loses most of its value? Or to reframe that, how will the British and European currencies be affected?
Oh, that's a loaded question. One more time. How will the euro and the yen?
No. What will happen to the euro and pound if
Oh,
the dollar loses most of its value? Or to reframe that, how will the British and European currencies be affected?
everything is going to be affected in the Great Reset. Everything. This is not a national thing. This is worldwide. Simply, it is worldwide. They're not looking to just reset the dollar, they're looking to reset everything. The problem with it is that the dollar is, well, pretty much the main currency. I'm not saying obviously there are other currencies in other states, but all in other countries, but they're all in a way set to the US dollar. I mean, what's going to happen with the Great Reset isn't going to be just United States of America. It is every single country. It's going to decimate us more. And the reason why is because, shall I say, Americans are spoiled. Very, very spoiled.
Yeah, we are.
That's the nicest way I can say it. We have been life, liberty, freedom, happiness, the pursuit of happiness, all of that, right? They're looking at taking most of that away, except for the life part. And that, I guess, depends on what you believe. Once they take away your liberties, where do you really go? The dollar itself, once they reset this currency, that I absolutely know they are, there's no way in the world. Somebody the other day tried to say that this was all conspiracy. There is no conspiracy. The phrase, you will own nothing and be happy, means to them, means that they're going to take away your debt, so you're not going to be heavily burdened by massive debt, and so therefore you're going to be less stress, or shall I say almost stress free, and so therefore you would be more happy.
Right.
That's BS. That's BS. If you want to buy into that, okay, fine, think what you wish, but the fact that people are saying that it's a conspiracy, that they're coming up with this phrase of you will own nothing and be happy, it's not a conspiracy.
Right.
The dollar is going to be decimated. Not, and yes, over 2021 and 2022, it may happen a little bit slow. You may not notice it if you're not observing it so easily. It's up and down a penny here or there. We're at 92 something today. So once that dips into the 80s, maybe people will notice it, but probably not, because you're going to notice it on the store shelves first before you notice it anywhere else. So I hope, answer that question better. How is it going to affect all of them? The Great Reset is going to affect everything across the board, not equally. It will affect us, I believe, a lot more because of what we're used to.
Okay. Someone made a statement here saying, did you see the announcement by Kimberly Clark, JM
Yes, I did.
and General Mills? You saw
Yes,
that?
I did. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Those are not the only ones that have made that announcement.
Okay.
They fully prepare ahead of time, all of these companies, to raise the price. They're preparing for it when they're telling you that they're not going to do it. Across the board.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not mistaken, the Kimberly Clark one, that was regarding toilet paper and all that stuff, all the cleaning products, all the toilet tissues.
Right.
Yes, it was across the board with regard to like 5 or 6 different companies, and they're all big ones. And it's not a shock to me at all. They are very well-known names. There will be many more rolling that out because obviously they're not prepared to take on the, shall I say, the extra cost themselves. And then our current resident of the White House is stating that there's going to be higher taxes for companies coming as well. Well, who do you think they're going to pass that on to?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I mean, it's always the consumer that pays. It's not other people. It's always the individual consumers.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not going to be pretty. And it's not just because of the boat that was stuck in the canal. Yeah, the boat has been moved. I get it. But there's a backlog in other things. I mean, did you see the cost of lumber? Oh my God, it went up 300%. They were saying that people that planned to build their homes this past fall and now for spring have begun that. They're already under contract. They've put their down payment to build homes. 300% hike in the lumber for the average home that, and I say average home for a $300,000 or less range for a house, which is tough these days to even build, is going to be an additional $25,000 just for the lumber, the extra cost. I mean, that's not in the people's budget, and it's probably not in the loan that they got to be able to do it. So they got to come up with that money in order to do it ahead of time because you need the lumber to do it.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not going to be pretty. I secured 2 more cases of coffee. Not messing around.
No, you can't mess around right now. Not with anything.
And recently, they just around the same time that the lumber problem came up, they were stating that places like Ethiopia and many of the places that produce some of the best coffee beans, that they are bringing it up, and they're doing it. Why? Because they know people are heavily addicted to this stuff. They're not going to stop drinking coffee.
You've seen my stash, right?
Right.
You've
But
seen
whether
my
it's at home or at Starbucks or Dunkin', it doesn't matter. They're going to jack the price. On the bean itself, never mind passing it off at all the other companies that are making it for you.
Right. Right.
So, that's just one item that we can't seem to stop drinking. And I never drank coffee until I turned 50. Okay. I can't stop drinking coffee now.
Yeah, so. Cecilia, I know people make fun of couponers all the time. And it's like, why? I know people who will go to the store and they'll have like $500 worth of groceries and walk out only paying maybe like $15.
Right. I love those guys. I absolutely love them. They have some TV show about couponers, and I absolutely love it. I think it's great when they can walk out and pay, with change. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've never been that good at it.
No, no, I know how to do it somewhat, but I'm not that good.
No, I get a buck or two off, and that's it. Maybe 2 coupons at max.
Yeah.
But honestly, I have not. I have a friend of mine that is going every single week purchasing. I mentioned this in the last video, purchasing certain items, and they're doing it on purpose. I haven't physically walked into a grocery store to buy groceries in the better part of a year and a half. I have not. One, because of what just went on, right?
Right.
And two, because, well, I'm so well supplied with food. I don't need to.
Right.
I go for canning jars. I go for things like that to be able to put up extra food that I have. But I have not. I mean, when I ever saw the arrows on the floors, I went, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Did you follow him? It was really
No.
hard for me to follow.
No, I was already violating it before I ever even got to it. And I'm like,
I know.
what's up with this? And I saw the plexiglass when you approach things, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I know I am not here. Bye-bye. I'm done. Buy my one item, and I'm gone.
Someone wants to know if you buy whole coffee beans or already ground up.
I don't buy any. I get them, but already ground up, and then I vacuum seal everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I have food connections, so I literally do not buy a thing.
Yeah. I wish.
That is the way. I'll tell you, it's the way to stock a pantry if you can.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, the way I did it is I walked into a food pantry one day, and I was just trying to strike up a conversation and finding out, could I volunteer? And this is a really good way, maybe for some of your viewers in different places, to maybe perhaps do this. I walked in and I was trying to add something to them, not take away something. I was trying to add something, and I said, "Can I help you guys with anything?" And as I was walking around, and this is pre-COVID, okay? So as I was walking around, I noticed that they got a lot of things in boxes, but all the boxes were on the floor or they were on tables or whatever. And I said, you guys need lumber and shelves, and I have some carpentry skills. Would you mind if I do it? And they were like, well, what are you talking about? I said, I'll tell you tomorrow. And the next day I showed up with a full plan, etched out perfectly for them. And I said, here you go. Before I left, I took dimensions and I built everything, on paper first and got their approval for it. They're like, well, I don't know if we can afford to do it. I said, I will show up with the lumber. I will show up with everything. So I did. I got stuff at Home Depot and whatever. And I had a lot of stuff in my garage at the time. I went, rented a Home Depot truck. So it was very, very minimal money and maybe $200. My point is, I had some skills. So utilize the skills that you have. And I had some connections. Maybe you don't always have that, but maybe you can go and find out. Can you volunteer? That being said, I get food given to me all the time. That's where the cases of coffee come from.
Right.
I mean, cases. So, tonight for dinner we had lobster bisque and mahi, and it comes from a pantry, and you wouldn't think it would. Because they give me really, really good stuff. For one thing, they get really good stuff. It's not peanut butter and jelly and canned food, although we get that too. But yeah, they supply really, really good food. And it's we get an abundance because I added something to them. So it was sweat equity. Right. I have no needed to buy food, period. Right. And now I supply food for a lot of other people by doing that.
Right.
So if, I would just encourage people that are listening to be able to take skills that you have and try to find some connections and be able to do something that's maybe a little bit outside your box. But find a way to then transform it into something that really works for you, like food.
Right.
And build a food pantry that way. So I built my own little food pantry by building somebody else's. And I just think that's cool.
Let's see. Someone asked, how much more did you say grocery items will be inflated by the end of April on the last video?
Oh, I believe I said what I know, which is I had mentioned that my person started with around a $10 to $11 range, and it was about a month to a month and a half prior to that video, and it was at $30 then at that time. I expect that to double. So
Okay.
from 30 to go to 60, but that would mean in about 2.5 months' time that a $10 to $11 range will then go to $60, 6 times higher.
Okay. And then someone else had commented, I'm confused. Houses come in different values. So if everyone is on the same UBI, how does that work? Much less some are single. What about our own rightful investments? Also, what if you're not ready for your forever house and want to move? So you just want to pay off your mortgage.
All right, let's break that up into sections. The first part of that question was, read that one more time, because I'm going to do that in sections.
Okay. She says that she's confused, or they're confused. Houses come in different values. So if everyone is on the same UBI, how does
All right,
that work? Much less some
okay,
are single.
Stop there. Okay, so houses come in different values. Yeah, we all know that, but that doesn't matter with regard to UBI. When UBI starts, we're all starting at the same thing. Recently, I think on the last video, I had mentioned that they downgraded it, that it would be 2,000 at the beginning, and then the reoccurring they were saying would be 1,000. Well, now they're saying, as of this week, they're saying exactly what I know, which is 2,000 in the beginning, and then 2,000 for all the reoccurring. So they have now confirmed that what I said prior is correct. But that has nothing to do with the value of your home at all, because it's not based on the value of your home. Every person is getting a certain amount of money. Now, again, when I say every person, I mean people under a certain income. They have yet to really truly define that. We'll see what they come up with for that one. But the average American will qualify. Elderly will qualify. People that are 18 and older will qualify. So it has zero to do with the value of your home.
Okay.
So that's the first part of that question.
Okay. And then they said, well, what about our own rightful investments? Also, what you're not already in your forever home and you want to move, so you don't want to just pay off your mortgage.
So with regard to a home, the only time the Great Reset is going to be an issue, yes, housing values will decline. We're in a housing bubble right now. So housing values are going to decline, Great Reset or not. Because once that bubble bursts, as it always does, it did in 2008, as that happens, the values will come down. And that's why I was saying take equity out of your home now, because later the equity is what's really going to come down, right? So with regard to, now I lost my train of thought. With regard to the Great Reset, whether you pay your house off or not doesn't even truly matter. What matters is when UBI happens, you're fine until they say sign here with your thumbprint. When you sign here with your thumbprint, you are actually forever giving up your rights of ownership of any private things, meaning homes, cars, land. That's afterward. It more than likely won't happen right away. I mean, they never roll out an entire plan right away. They'll get you used to receiving the UBI.
Right.
They'll make you more dependent. And that's the goal. They're trying to make a dependent society. Their goal is not to have you go out and get another job. Well, then you don't need them, right? They're not looking to bring jobs back. Don't believe the myth that they're trying to improve the economy. They're not. You know, it's hard to get people to understand what was is gone. It's gone. It's not coming back.
So this is why, like, there's all of these, like, self-checkouts and things like this. Yes?
Well, they came into play prior to that. I got to turn a light on. It's getting dark in here. Hang on a minute. All right. So that's probably too right. I'm backlit. Oh my. All right. That's not going to work. Keep talking. Talk amongst yourselves.
No. No, I said, this is probably why, like self-checkouts, even like at fast food restaurants. You walk into a fast food restaurant, you order yourself, and someone will bring it to the table.
Correct.
People, AI is taking over a lot of jobs here.
Yes. Yes. And that's not going to stop. I mean, AI hasn't even really begun. I'll be honest with you. That's the plan, but it hasn't really begun. That's the next phase. I mean, Agenda 2021 has happened, but Agenda 30 is coming.
Right.
We've all heard about that, right? I'm assuming you people have heard of that. If not, look it up. Google it, Agenda 2030. And don't Google the other one, Agenda 2050, because you don't want to look that far ahead. You don't want to know.
Probably won't even be alive. Half of us won't even be alive then, but
Well, it just creates more anxiety. Again, this is all planned out. They have the next 60 years planned out. Don't think they don't. Not conspiracy at all, but believe what you wish.
Right. Yeah, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. Controversial, okay. Conspiracy theories, not really. Only because, there's no real facts to back it up.
Right.
That's why I only like fact-based things, and that's what we talk about here.
Right. Right. And anything we've discussed, you can Google it. Anything. I never tell anybody to believe what I say. It's please look it up, check it out.
Right on.
And go from there.
Right on.
I'm having more coffee while we're talking.
Yeah, I forgot to make a coffee.
Oh my God. What's wrong with you? Okay.
I've been drinking juice all day.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of that question, no, when you have to sign with your thumbprint, that's when it's going to affect you. And it doesn't matter what the value of your home is, because you could have it fully paid off. UBI starts and you're receiving it. That's fine. Down the road, they say in order to continue receiving it, you need to sign here. Just know and understand that you will own nothing.
Yeah.
So whether or not they word it properly at that time doesn't matter, because they can word it any way they choose.
Right.
And they can change that wording anytime they choose.
I know.
So the 2000 is what it is. It doesn't matter the value of your home, but you will now be able to get that UBI for the remainder of your days. I do believe it's a 30-year plan. I know that they have a plan beyond the 30 years, but the UBI is planned for 30 years.
And it's already beginning, yeah?
Huh?
It's already started, yeah?
Right. So the UBI is a 30-year plan. So let's say you're getting $2,000 a month. You're getting $2,000 a month. That's, $24,000 on the year. Times that by 30 years. They consider your house paid for. You're going to get it. They've bought your home. But for the younger crowd, younger than me, they have bought your future, because now no matter what you buy, they own it. They own it.
So for someone like my son, who really his only income right now is the military.
Yeah. Well, I do not know, although I'm sure they will. I don't know if they receive the UBI or not. I would imagine they would. So that's another question as well. Yeah. But would that affect him and his future? Well, no, until it's signed here.
Right.
And then, yes. So I don't know if there's more to that question, or if I missed something.
No, I was just thinking out loud,
Yeah,
honestly.
no, I meant the person who asked the question, if there was more to it.
No, nothing else was said that I could see. Oh, Now, here's something.
No boy.
I gotta use code word with this, okay? Sorry,
Okay.
Cecilia, but I gotta use code word.
All
I
right.
was offered a job next week, but only if I agree to get V,
Uh-huh.
non-negotiable. I feel that this will be the new norm. Oh, girl, you have no clue.
All right. So I'll speak in code.
Here you go. Now, remember, I got in trouble for talking about this, but
No, no,
speaking
I said I'll speak in code. I can speak in code. I can answer that question. Yes. Okay. Done. Yes. Is it the new normal? Absolutely. Are they going to require that? Absolutely. Now, here's the thing. Even if you are in a current position at a current company that is currently still open, insurance companies at some point are going to require that, meaning health insurance companies. If you want to maintain the health insurance with that company, notices will be sent to the company saying that all employees must have that.
right.
And if the employees all comply, then they can continue with the healthcare coverage that they're currently paying for, not just individually, but as a company. If one person within that company decides to be the rebel and not have that, then that one person will jeopardize the health insurance or life insurance or short-term short-term insurance for everyone in the company, which means you wouldn't be able to maintain the position because the powers that be within that company will tell you you have to do it or. So there will come a time. Right now, it is not that way, but that is coming. So it's about finding alternative means of income. Diversification is your best friend. And finding ways to be able to pay off what you do have so that you don't have as much debt, so that you can live with less income, as well as making sure that you not just drive down any debt, but don't incur any new debt, which is going to be very tough if people are making less money with a deflated dollar and you have lower purchasing power. So we're back to these.
Yeah.
So we're back to it each and every time. There is no way around that.
Unfreaking believable, because Sean and I were just having this conversation, and I said, because a lot of other officers are saying this is what it's going to come down to. They're going to mandate it.
Yep.
And he said, and Sean keeps saying, no, they can't do that. They can't do that legally. And I said, Sean, are you sure?
They can't do it legally right now, but I will tell you that they are legally going to do it for companies. And
Yeah,
that's
but
where
Sean works for the government.
Yeah, I know.
That's the kick in the ass.
Yeah. So offset any rising costs. Think about that in your head on a regular basis. How do I offset rising costs? If costs are going to go up for me, what more can I do? Is there a way I can diversify in any way, whether it's a skill that you have, whether it's connections that you have? Just individually, you each have to do that because nobody knows everybody's situations, and I can't advise people on that. But I can advise you to buy something that's less than $40 right now.
Yeah, I know.
And watch it skyrocket. $40, anybody right now, unless you're in a cardboard box. Just about anybody can buy one. Buy one. Start with one. And I don't sell this stuff, okay? I'm making nothing off of saying it. I'm trying to help people. Just buy one. And then let it sit. It's not a good idea to buy a ton anyway, because then you're going to be like, oh my God, I have no money this week. Or, and you're thinking about it. You don't want to think about it. You just want to buy one and put it away.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Look at it as a nest egg for later. This is your offset.
Right.
And I recommend these really, truly. I bought these decades ago, but they're walk-in liberties, and they're gold and silver. Okay. So I recommend them. I don't know if you can see that, but I recommend those simply because they are a combination of, where are we?
Okay, I see. Yeah.
They're a combination of the two. So I'd recommend them simply because they have both technically in it. So even though it's predominantly silver, the edges and the back and the front are laden with gold. And so it raises the value even more. And yet they don't cost more right now. They're not going to cost you the price of gold or anywhere near it. So $40, put $40 away. I mean, people blow $40 on going out to eat. Just buy one and put it away.
It's not that hard, but what are you going to?
Yeah. And you can buy them just about anywhere. I mean, these are not hard to find. You don't have to go to a big trading, like ITM. I recommend ITM, but you don't have to go to ITM for these.
Right.
You can buy them online. Just know who you're buying them off of. Don't buy them off of some guy on eBay that you don't know.
Yeah. Jeez.
Believe it or not, people do that.
Someone wants to know if a disabled person lives on a trust fund provided by their parents or grandparents and doesn't understand what they sign or give their thumbprint. Everything that person owns is in a trust anyway, so they can't sign anything away.
Well, that's correct. Then again, if it's somebody who's disabled and doesn't have legal rights to sign something,
I guess
for whatever reason, then yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Rosalie wants to know what will happen to Social Security in the near term.
Well, as I said in the last video, please check that one out. I'm surprised Social Security is still here.
Yeah,
I know that. Every single year. So what will happen to it? Your guess is as good as mine, really. I'm surprised it's still here, and I'm waiting for. I'm not saying that I'm waiting for it to go away. I know it's going to go away. I'm just surprised that it hasn't gone away yet.
Michelle would like to know, where do you buy silver at, and what is ITM?
Okay, so I understand in saying this. I'm not promoting these guys because I make any money off of it. They're called Itsm Trading. I don't make a dime off of it. They're awesome. And that is where you would buy gold or silver. And you don't have to buy it like that. You can buy pre-1965 coins. If a lot of people right now don't want to buy gold because way back in the 30s, 40s, gold was confiscated by the US government. So it was illegal to hold, I believe, anything over 5 ounces. So that being said, people are afraid that they are going to confiscate it all over again. Could they? Yes, they could. So old coins are ones that cannot be confiscated. So whether they are Canadian, whether they are not Canadian, US, doesn't matter. Anything pre-1965, they can't confiscate. So don't just buy gold, but buy gold coins that are prior to 1965. And if you talk to ITM Trading, they will know how to steer you in that direction with regard to confiscation, and specifically mention confiscation And what do I buy to avoid that? Because if you buy a bar of gold, well, that is still trackable and traceable to you through any place, because all of those companies, regardless of who they are, they have to report where the gold goes to, right?
Right.
You bought it. They do
Right.
have to report that. And so if you now do that, I mean, unless you're saying that you gave it away as a gift to somebody, but nobody's going to buy gold bars and do that. Even if you did, you're going to have to then say where it went, right? And so to avoid all that, just go with the pre-1965 coins.
Okay.
And yes, they are in gold or silver.
Okay. And then AC would like to know, so we shouldn't pay off a house. We should focus on moving into a home we want to settle in.
Okay, so if you are not in your forever home, these are
Right.
the people that are not in their forever home, but you're in a home and you're either working to pay it down or you already have. Let's start with the ones that have not paid them off yet, and it's not their forever home. What I said in either the first or second video is find out how much equity you have in your home, because right now we are in the middle of a housing bubble, and that bubble is going to burst. There's no way around it. Absolutely none. The moratorium recently just made it worse, but that's not the cause. The cause goes back to the 80s. So if you're not in your forever home and you have equity in your home that is more than $50,000, don't do it if you're under 50. But if you're over $50,000, find out what that equity value is and take out an equity line. People don't want to do that, like you mentioned, because you don't want the extra debt. But if you take out that extra money and take 25% of it and put it aside for that extra payment, okay? And now you have 75% of whatever that line of equity is. Now you buy these.
Okay.
And then you put these aside. You don't touch them. You don't tell anybody else you have them. It's your little nest egg. Right now, that particular person would have a nest egg within their home in the value of it. But when that value comes down, you don't have that nest egg anymore. And at the same time that that value comes down, the value of these goes up and up and up. So all you're doing is you're transferring the value of one thing that's going to depreciate drastically into the value of something that's going to appreciate. So you're not only able to continue with your standard of living, but you're able to secure the ability when these reach a certain price to be able to now pay off not just the home equity, but the remainder of your mortgage. Now, I'm not saying at the same time, if you have paid off your home, tap all your home equity. I'm not saying that. But for the average person out there, if you own a home that's worth around $300,000 to $400,000, and you have paid it off, it will not in any way hurt you to take out $100,000 for a home equity loan. Keep 25 put aside to pay that line of equity over a period of time, because home equity loans are fairly reasonable and very low interest right now. Make sure it's a fixed rate. And with that other 75, you buy these and you put it away. And then when these reach a certain price, you not only pay off the remainder of that loan, but you get a nice chunk of change that will now offset any rising cost of everything else. So again, if you have the home paid off, I'm not saying to mortgage it to the hilt. I'm not even truly suggesting that people get a home equity line for anything other than securing this stuff right here. That is the only reason why I'd say to do it, because this is going to go up. If you take that money and spend it on anything else, It wouldn't make sense. You want to keep the money within the home. It would only be to do that.
Right. Cecilia wants to know, my daughter leaves for college in August. Should we wait on such a large investment?
Oh, what's it going to cost you? I mean, if it's a partial loan for school, you're talking about a college loan? I will tell you this, college loans with the Great Reset, maybe not just the Great Reset, but with UBI, college loans are going to be forgiven. So it depends on how much that college loan is for. If you're going to med school,
and if it's Ivy League or something like that too,
right.
If
Exactly.
we're talking Harvard, Yale, Penn State, anything like that.
Harvard, I know. Yep.
Unless Cecilia, I mean, like my son, he went into the military because he wants to go to medical school.
Yeah.
He's getting a full ride because of the military.
Right. So should you avoid that, large expense? Well, in her case, I don't know what you're talking about for a large expense because I don't know how much it is. But if you don't have the money, a large expense is a large expense, right? Should you wait? I mean, just know, and I don't know that she said, but what is she going to school for?
30 grand, she's saying. 30 grand. Our portion is 30,000, she said.
What are you going to school for? I mean, if it's travel and tourism, forget it. Depends on what you're going for these days. Make sure that at the end of the day, when that's all done, you're going to have the ability to have a job within that field. Yeah. Because right now, too many things are not that way.
Right.
This is not what we're used to. It's not just go to college and try to find a job anymore. Now it's, oh my God, what's left? What can I go into? What can I really do? You got to figure that out before you go spending the money.
Right. As long as it's not something like liberal arts or something like that,
Well, yeah. Right. But, I know a lot of people that are out of work these days that never thought they would be.
Right.
They have the college degrees in fields that are booming, really. Mm-hmm. And, but the competition is now so high.
Yeah.
I mean, I did contract work for years for a lot of companies. You and I talked about that. I did a lot of contract work for years and can easily get it. But the problem now versus before is for every contract that comes up, you might have 20 people that you're competing with. That's before. Now you got 500 that you're competing with for the same contract. What I have in my advantage is I've been doing it for decades, and I can actually drive that price so low that the other people can't afford to do it.
Right. Right.
So you got to find out the niche that works for you. I would not say don't go to school, and I would not say don't take out a college loan because I know that they're going to forgive college loans.
Right. Right.
How
much are they forgiving though? Are they going to forgive 100%?
They have not defined that. I think it will be a certain dollar value, but I don't have that dollar value. Is it going to be across the board? Maybe if you sign here, they'll forgive the whole thing. That's my thought. That's really where I'd be going. Yeah, they got everybody from that generation down just by sign here.
Right.
We'll forgive you. And they're going with the student loans because, well, that's what that generation has the most of.
Right.
Student loan debt.
Well, like Andrew's ex-girlfriend, Madison, the one that has 4 college degrees and now she's a teacher at University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
She's still $40,000 in debt. So is that all going to be wiped away too? Who knows?
I can't answer that question in full.
You know what I mean? So it's still, that's why Andrew went into the military. So his medical schooling will now be paid for.
Right. Yeah, he's got the best advantage on that one.
Because he tried to get grants, but they went off of our income. And they said, well, you make too much money. And I said, wait a minute. how much does medical school cost every single year? You're telling me that what
And he
we
wasn't
made,
living with you. He wasn't living with you at the time either, so that shouldn't even matter.
they went back to, because he was still living with us in the good part of 2020.
Oh,
Yeah. He
okay.
didn't leave home until August of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So they still said, well, you were still living with your parents in 2020.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they said that our income was too much. And I'm like, where?
Right, right, right.
On a law
For a full,
enforcement officer's income, where is that too much money to get
for a
grants
full ride.
for medical school? Where?
Right.
Where?
But if you mean for a full ride, maybe I could understand that. But usually there's stuff that is done to offset it.
He couldn't get grants anywhere.
Well, no. Okay.
Honor roll student from high school couldn't get grants anywhere because we made too much money.
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's in a good position now with doing the military because of that. Anybody else? Yeah, I know they're going to forgive student loans. How much is it going to be in full? It probably will be in full if you sign here.
Right.
If you're willing to do that.
Right.
You know, they say you'll be happy. Come on. You know, some people might be. You know, some people want to do it that way. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah, someone just said time to trade in my gold jewelry for pre-1965 coins to keep for
No,
purchasing land in my
no,
retirement, the greatest time of need when I can't work anymore. No?
no, no. Do not trade in gold jewelry at all. Keep it. That's going to go up just as much as these. Keep it. I still have my old wedding rings. I get all of that stuff. I'm not getting rid of them to buy these. Gold is gold. It doesn't matter if it's in these or not. Keep them. And it's even better because they don't know about that stuff, right? Now, if you go and you turn it in and you buy something else for it, well, now they know about these. I'm not saying they can confiscate them, but they still know about the transaction. Don't ever transfer gold. Keep it. Keep any jewelry you have that is gold. I don't care if they're just gold-studded earrings. Keep them.
Okay, well then I have a question for you. This
Sure.
wedding band right here was my
Mhm.
great grandmother's, made in Italy.
Mhm.
How much is
Okay.
this thing worth?
Oh, I can't. I'm not in front of it. I can't tell you. I don't know the.
But I'm just saying.
It's going to be worth a lot when these go higher. How long is it going to take? Well, to be honest with you, I'm surprised that gold hasn't shot up yet. But the reason why it hasn't is because the powers that be, the JP Morgans, I'll call them out, suppress the price. You know, come on, what are you going to do? You're going to come after me? Bring it, right?
Yeah.
That's my attitude. You got a problem with me? Show up.
Here
So,
I am.
so everybody knows this. The market's rigged. The metals market is rigged. So with regard to gold and silver, uranium, just about all of it, it is heavily rigged. So the fact that it has not shot up yet is because it's being suppressed. But when inflation hits, and don't tell me it won't, don't tell me it's a conspiracy, think what you wish, but I know when the inflation hits, these are going to go up. It's unavoidable. So these go up, your gold jewelry is going to go up. Every
Right.
one of them.
Right.
Silver too. And platinum, my God, if you got anything platinum, please keep it.
Yeah. Janet wants to know, I have no debt. Will I lose my property?
You won't lose the ability to be in your home or on land. What you will lose if you sign here is the rights of ownership. So later, when they tell you you have to do something or anything else, that they want you to do that you don't want to do. They can say, well, we own that, and we can either move you out, or we have a homeless family down the street. We'd like to have them into a place and not be on the street, so we're going to move them in with you. And don't think they can't do that, because they can.
Oh my goodness, no.
And there are a tremendous amount of people who are soon going to be out of homes with the moratorium that's being lifted. So
yeah.
I'm not saying anybody is a bad person. Hey, I had mortgage issues too. I totally get it. Totally get it. So they're not gonna boot you out because they now own it. But the moment you don't want to do what they want you to do, and don't think it's a conspiracy, because it's not, then they can say to you, well, we own that. So that is why I'm saying it's best to not sign with your thumb. Do not sign that agreement. And in the meantime, secure your wealth, or the ability to have purchasing power down the road. Even if you don't have wealth, you have the ability to now secure something that's going to go up in price and offset your future costs.
Angel said she doesn't know if this is true, but she heard 1 ounce of silver in Venezuela can supply 6 months worth of food.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But it wouldn't shock me, because of course the price on everything there is high food-wise, right?
Okay.
And the cost of silver there,
Okay. Well, someone just said by the name of SM, 1 ounce of silver is worth $25, if that puts it into perspective.
Wow, where are you buying it?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the price is suppressed, but last I knew, which was last Monday, I have not looked at it since, but spot price was around 35 to 38 an ounce on silver. I mean, if it's come down that much, I got some homework to do, not just with regard to the price, but I need to go buy in.
Right.
Because that's incredibly low.
Okay, yeah, Cyan Rath just said ITM has 1 ounce at 37.33.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's more what I expect, not 25. You said $25. That's more what I expect.
Okay. And Janet said if they don't confiscate bank accounts, why would anyone sign up for UBI?
I never said, nor do I know of anyone that's ever said that they would confiscate bank accounts. I had mentioned that the dollar will become deflated and your bank account will go to almost zip.
Okay.
They're not going to confiscate your bank account. They're going to devalue the dollar so badly that you won't have any money in there. I mean, there are people, and I don't know how to say this nicely, but there are people out there, economists, really good ones, who are saying, in Venezuela and many other places, with regard to the bolivar, you need a wheelbarrow's worth of bolivars. That's their note. You need a wheelbarrow full of bolivars in order to buy food. And we're not talking food for the week. We're talking just like bread, milk, eggs. That's how devalued their dollar is. I mean, they're going to lob off zeros. So people that think they have $1 million in the bank, it's probably going to be less than 100,000 just on the first time they lob off 3 zeros. And then they're going to turn around and they're going to do it again. And now you get 10 grand. And then they're going to do it again. And now you got 1 grand. They're going to do it and they're not going to stop until they've driven that straight down. They're going to lob off 3 zeros at a time. The problem then, though, becomes when they lob zeros off of your bank account, they're going to add those zeros to whatever it is you're buying. So your dollar devalues and the cost of everything goes up. So what the heck do you do now? These go up.
Yeah.
When things like that happen.
Right.
And I don't want to sit here and just push stuff like this. I don't want to do that. I'm telling you, this is the only place to really run to safety. The only place. There really is no other place. Paying off your home is great, and I love it. And so in that case, don't sign here, right? Don't sign here. Don't take the UBI when it's time to sign. Don't do it, because then you're giving up the rights to your home. Just pay off your home between now and then, and you don't need the UBI, right? Put yourself in a position where you don't need them. That is what these are for. But don't take the UBI.
Right.
And again, right now you can take it. But when
for
it's
a lot
signed,
of people, it's easier said than done, you know,
course.
especially,
Of course.
you
Yes.
know, for the disabled, you know,
And
a lot of
correct.
our
And for
veterans.
and for anyone that lives in an apartment and you don't intend to ever buy a home, I'm not saying don't sign here. I'm saying if you own a home and you want to keep it and you want it in your name all the time,
Right.
don't sign here, because it is not a conspiracy. You know, in my time in business, I've been in on the inside of some of this stuff, and that's how I know. I'm not just saying it because I think it and because I know it or because I've heard other people say it. I've been where others haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to warn you. Take the warning or walk away from the warning, but don't say you weren't warned.
Or yeah. Yeah.
And that's all. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like Angel just said this, your house may be paid off, but you still have property taxes.
Correct. And
Yeah.
that's what this will help with. As this goes up, it increases in value. And you can utilize that to be able to offset rising costs. That's exactly what I said. Your house, your taxes, your whatever it is that you need. But do me a favor, people. Don't use these to pay off medical bills. Don't. Let that sit. Give them $5 a month. They can't do anything about it. And I'm talking specifically about medical bills. I'm not talking about anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do anything about it.
No.
I think that's part of one of the reasons for what happened recently at hospitals. They had rising medical debt and they have to offset it somehow. Don't think they weren't paid a ton of money, because they were.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay off all of, you know, pay down all of our debt as much as we possibly can, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing that I've noticed, you know, because I have a lot of medical issues and, you know, medical bills that piled up and stuff like that. I thought that that stuff wasn't supposed to be on your credit report. Oh, but it is.
I don't know why you thought that. Why'd you think that?
I don't know. I really don't.
Anything that has, you know, your medical records, obviously, all of that has your social security number on it. So of course it would be. But what I'm saying is just paying $5 a month. Yeah, okay, it may be on your credit report, but they're not going to touch your house. Pay your utility bills first. Pay all of that stuff first. Deal with the medical stuff last. In the meantime, $5. Just send them a payment. They have to have something. Something has to be on record saying you didn't ignore it.
Right.
Pay them $5. And write a check. Don't put it on auto pay.
I'm guilty of that, but I don't care.
Especially not on medical stuff. I mean, come on, they'll reach into the wallet and grab everything they can.
Right. Well, right now what I'm doing is I'm paying off like as much because last year when the pandemic first started and all the lockdowns started and everything like that, we got hit really hard because, like I said, Sean was so used to working 20, 30 hours a week of overtime, and we were
Yeah.
used to having all this money coming in.
Yeah.
And he got pushed down to working 1 day a week.
Yeah.
We were living off of credit cards. Ouch.
Okay. Yeah.
So now we're paying everything down. So that's what a lot of our money is going towards, is paying everything down right now. And it's not easy.
Let me ask you, what are the names of the credit card companies?
We have a few like Capital Ones and Visas and MasterCards, American Express, Discover, all that shit.
Pay the Visa.
We at one time had like perfect credit. And now
pay down the Visa. The rest, pay down the Visa.
Yeah. Why are they the worst?
No, I'm not saying don't pay the others. I'm saying pay down the Visa, because that's the one that's going to last. When this great reset happens, most of them are going away.
Okay.
Most of them. And your debt will go away with it. Yep.
I hope everyone heard that.
Now listen, wait a minute, back up. So I'm not saying don't pay it. I'm saying work to pay down a Visa. Work, so the extra money. I'm not saying don't make your monthly payment. Make your monthly payment.
Right.
Okay, on all your stuff. But put the extra money towards the Visa payment.
Right.
Because that's the one you want to keep in the end. And those others, well, if and when they dissolve, because nothing is 100% certain, right? So if and when those dissolve, and I know they're gonna, then your debt goes with it. Because when they go belly up, and they will, with the Great Reset, when they go belly up, they can't say, well, we're going bankrupt, but you still owe us. No, the debts go with it. Assets and liabilities will perfectly clear each other.
Hang on, there's some shite going on in the. I had to shut somebody's pie hole real quick, and I don't normally do that, but don't dare attack me or Trish, because I will come for your ass. All right.
Well, feel free to repeat it, because since doing the live chats with you, I've gotten more hate mail than I know what to do with. And I'm finding it interesting, trying to decipher where it's coming from, truly. So
that's weird, because I don't give out your email.
So anybody out there that wants to try it, well, I've been around long enough to know how to deal with it. There's nothing to hate me for. If I'm saying something you don't like, I say the same thing every time. Believe what you wish. You don't have to believe me. Click on, click off, whatever. I don't care.
Cyan, thank you. She goes, I would not fuck with Trish.
Oh my. Well, anyway, you know, it's just one of those things where, fine, you want to send me something? If you're clever enough to figure out how to do it, you want to go for it, hey, go for it. But just remember, I've been around long enough and I know how to deal with it. That's all.
Oh, well, just someone came in here. I deleted it, I think.
That's all right.
Yeah. You're listening to fools. Keep your cash. Don't buy silver and gold. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Shut up.
All right. Here, I'm going to respond to that. For that person that wants to keep their cash, please do so. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be saying, oh my God, I wish I listened. Go ahead.
You're going to make the South Jersey come out. Shut up.
I am not selling this. I'm not selling this. I don't make a dime off of it. There is zero that I make off of doing this. I'm doing this to help others. And if you think for one bloody second that I'm doing it for any other reason, or that it's a conspiracy or it's a myth, or, oh my God, the dollar is going to magically go up. Really? Come on. We're already down in the low 90s. It's going lower, people.
Yeah.
You don't want to believe me? Okay, fine. You have the right to your opinion. My grandmother used to say, people have the right to their opinions. Everybody's got, well, I won't say what she said,
Listen.
but everybody's got one, right?
Yeah.
So I love my gram. She had some unique stuff. It's not so unique these days, but back then, to hear an older lady crank something like that out, you know, I just, I fine. You want to hang on to cash? Do it. Do it. I'm not telling you to cash it all in.
Huh.
The smart ones will.
Right. I am just trying to find that question, and it literally just went bloop. Go on. I can't find it.
So
Oh
what is everybody else doing these days to prep? Is there something unique that you're doing? Is there something the rest of us need to know about? What are we missing?
Would
I'm
you
still looking for the holes.
Oh, okay. Someone asked, Trish, would you advise paying off debt or buying metals with available funds? Terry wants to know.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're just tuning in. Yes.
No, Stormy. No.
Buy silver, buy gold. Again, with available funds, that it's hard to know what you truly mean by that. If it's with an available $40 a week, yes, buy silver. Just buy one coin a week if that's the case. If you have a lot more ability to do it, then yes. Silver is to maintain your purchasing power that is going to be depleted down the road. Gold is to maintain legacy and wealth. So for the average consumer these days, buy silver. If you have a lot more money, buy some gold. Pre-1965 coins. That being said, all silver and gold is monetary at its base. If you happen to frequent antique shops or anything like that, and you find, I don't know, even sterling silver salt and pepper shakers, they're still worth way more than the minor amount of money that you're going to pay for it.
Goodwill and Salvation Army is a good place to start to look for silver.
I know. Yeah.
Sean and I go and we look all the time, and we have found pieces. I'm telling you, even we found a gravy boat that was silver, pure silver.
Yeah.
A gravy boat.
Right. I get it. So again, it doesn't just have to be coins. It can be anything that is made out of it. It can be good jewelry. It's amazing what there is out there. But don't cash in any jewelry because you think you should trade it in for coins of gold or silver in any way. Just hang on to it. Put it away.
Even if it's from an ex, just put it in a little satchel.
I still have my rings. Yes, right. Yeah.
Put it in your underwear drawer.
Well, just keep it. That's all.
Yeah.
Please do not put it in a safety deposit box at the bank.
No.
People think that because you hold the key, you only hold one key, that they can't touch it. Well, that's so wrong. That's so wrong. And yes, they can. And yes, they will. So you heard the story a little while ago. In fact, I think I gave it to you, about a guy who had, what was it, $236,000 in his bank account, and all of a sudden, then it comes up zero.
Yes, I did a video on that. You saw that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I sent it to you. So anyway,
I need coffee. I'm making coffee. Everybody get coffee.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you. I got a thermos full here. So people saw that. So the value or the monetary part of it on his end said zero, and then the bank didn't respond and didn't respond for weeks, and then all of a sudden they said, "Oh, well, you must have had identity theft." That's a crock. It had nothing to do with that whatsoever. It was the bank trying to balance their books. That's what they do. They play with people's money. And if you think for one bloody second that your bank, whether it's a credit union or not, will not do the same thing when they need to balance their books because they're required to have a certain amount of money in there at all times as a reserve,
Right.
oh, yes, they will. Credit
Right.
union or not. When you put money in the bank, let's say it's $500, you're not saving $500. You bought 500 or so shares of that bank, depending on what it's worth. If the shares are worth $50, well, you bought shares of that bank. So you bought 10 shares. And when that value of those shares go down, your money goes away with it.
Right. Right.
So don't think that you're saving money by keeping more than 1 month's worth of money in the bank. That is it. Don't put one dime over what you know you spend on a regular basis in the bank. Is that Penelope?
She just got
Hello,
up in my
Penelope.
chair as if she owns it. What are you doing?
Right?
What
So
are you doing?
in that case, putting money in the bank, do it to pay your bills, but make sure it doesn't stay in there long.
Right.
Pay your bills with it. And then wait until you need to pay more bills and then go and put money in the bank.
Right.
For those of you that are currently on unemployment and you're getting a certain amount of money every single month, don't keep any more in there than you know you need to. Go and get it.
Right.
Don't leave it in there. Even the dollars. I'm not saying transform the dollars even into gold or silver right now. I'm saying don't leave it in the hands of the bank. I don't care what bank they are. In my opinion, they're all crooked.
I got to put these guys out. Hang on. Come on.
Sliding open.
Jesus.
Sliding closed.
God. The life of being a mom dog, a dog
Right.
mom. Jeez.
I'm amazed you got away with not having coffee this whole time.
You know, it's not as easy as you think. It's
I know
really.
that all too well.
They're running around back there. What will happen in Cyprus will happen here. What is Cyprus, Angel?
Say that again.
What will happen? What happened in Cyprus will happen here. What's Cyprus?
Oh, that's a topic.
All right. I'm putting my feet up. Let's go. What's Cyprus?
I don't even know that I want to touch that one.
Angel, you opened the door. Let's go.
Let's do that in episode 2.
Episode 2. All right, Angel.
I will answer that question, all of that, in episode 2.
All right. So next Friday, 7:00, we're talking Cyprus. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I won't do it justice otherwise.
You opened what? Pandora's box? Yeah. Okay. She said, all right.
Yeah. I'm all for the topics, but throwing stuff like, yeah. I really want to be able to give you more than 10, 15 minutes on that one.
Dawn, I don't know what Cyprus is. I can't answer that question. She's like, what's Cyprus? I don't know.
Tune in for episode 2.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's why we're numbering these, just so you know, so people understand we've decided to number these now.
Right on. Yeah.
I think it will work well. Yeah. And it's a whole lot better than trying to repeat information. Yeah. We can just refer to a video number.
Yeah, it is. It is. And hopefully I don't get in trouble again.
I will do my best.
Oh my God. I have to apologize. Well, really,
No, don't. You have now joined the elite group of people who are potentially banned, and we'll try to keep you out of the group that has been banned. Okay?
hang on.
You're now part of the group.
Sliding opened.
Hey, let's go. Oh, shit. Come on. Come on. Come on. My dogs are literally trying to get underneath the fence. Come on.
Oh, nice.
Let's
Nice.
go. Penelope. Oh, man. Penelope. Penelope.
They must be loving something out there.
Come on. Come on. Come on. It's cold out, too. Come on. Come on. Penelope. Come on. No, Ridley, get back in here. Oh, man.
Closed.
Do what you gotta do.
Let's go.
Sliding opened.
If I could see the comments, I'd answer them, but I can't.
Come on.
Thankfully.
Come on. Ridley, let's go. Ridley, get your butt in. Come on, Ridley.
Sliding closed.
The people behind us have a dog.
Oh, nice.
And I think they leave the dog out, and my dogs are trying to dig to get underneath the fence. Get
Oh,
back. Ridley,
Sliding opened.
get back. Get in. Oh, you're in trouble. That's it.
Sliding closed.
No treats for you. No bacon. None. Bacon. My gosh.
No
No
bacon.
bacon for nobody tonight. Oh.
You gotta have bacon.
Yeah. I buy them special bacon that's made for dogs.
Oh boy.
I do.
Oh boy.
They're
No
spoiled.
bacon.
What can I say?
So they were talking about this one thing with regard to
Yeah. Listen, Marbury, it's for down, it's going down to 43 tonight. It's cold.
hello, I'm not in Florida. I'm used to cold.
Well,
That's nothing. Come on. That's nothing.
I'm not in New
Oh.
Jersey. I used to be, but I moved to Florida in 93. But for down here, 43 degrees is cold. My blood
As
thinned
they-
out. What do you want?
As they say up here, put on another layer. It's nothing.
I have my sweater right here. Give me a break. Low 20s tonight. Yeah,
so I was
sorry about that, guys. My dogs went totally ballistic. I thought I was going to have to go outside. What?
For the people that are preppers and listen to some of the YouTube prepper channels out there, Alaskan Prepper just recently,
Love this channel.
Yeah, very recently just did a video that everybody should watch. I don't know if it was today's or yesterday's. I want to say it was today's. But it will not only confirm everything I have said to you, but it will say even more in a way, because he gets into some detail that I have not. He really goes out of his way to say it. And like I said, it's either today's video or yesterday's video, but he shows you all about not only the rising cost, but what is now, and he mentions those 5 companies, like Kimberly-Clark and a bunch of others. So he mentions it like right at the beginning of the video. So once you start hearing and I think his title actually is something like 5 companies or 5 public companies that have promised price increases coming up, something like that. It's either today's or yesterday's. Alaskan Prepper, watch it. And by
Mhm.
saying that, I'm not getting a kickback for anything to push people
No.
towards watching that. I want you to watch it because the information is spot on.
Yes.
I watched it and went, thank you. Somebody is finally, not that others haven't, but he is saying the whole thing and why. And it's very, very recent. So please go on to Alaskan Prepper and watch that video. Listen very carefully. And it will tell you what you need to know.
Okay. Yeah, he's good. I love his channel.
He is. He's very, very good.
I watch him and I watch Jason at the Angry Prepper.
Yeah. I was just recently told about Jason. I have not watched him prior.
Love him. Very down to earth. Truth sayer. Speaks the truth. Just like me. Yes.
Yeah.
He curses, but it's like, you know, what adult, you know, I mean, if you get offended, it's like he's not for you, but it's like he's good. I'm telling you, he's good. Yeah.
What I have seen, he's given out the right info. I haven't seen a lot. So I've probably only watched 3 of his recent videos.
Yeah. I trust him. 100% trust. Yeah.
I like where he's located. He's really in the heart of it all. And he definitely, you know, he's the guy on the ground there.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, I think another thing is that because he's a fireman and, you know, my dad, you know, my dad retired as the chief of the fire department. You know, I think there's also like that thing that I have, you know, that way too, you know, so.
Yeah, I know so little about him. I didn't even know he was a fireman. I know his videos. I see him walking to work a lot. I didn't know that that's where he was going.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's a fireman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was actually one of the ones on the ground at 9/11.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough time for everybody. I had family in 9/11, so I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love how he speaks the truth. You know, there's nobody else like him, you know?
Yeah.
So.
That was one of those planned events too. And, you know, for those that don't want to believe that, okay. But it was. So.
Yeah, Nikki, he does. She just said, I like the Angry Prepper. He truly says it like it is. Yes, he does.
Hi,
and
Nikki.
I only wish that I had, I'm going to say it this way. I truly wish that I had the balls to say what he says in my videos. But I have gotten so much backlash because I have said the word hell in one of my videos.
Oh, well, I told you just in 2 appearances with you, I'm receiving hate mail now. So it's like, really? Guys?
And for what?
Yeah. Oh.
Because you're speaking your truth on what you are knowledgeable in.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, someday, if you want, I won't reveal the names of the people, but someday, if you want, I'll read them. I'll print them out, and someday we can read them, so we can address them, if you really want. You know, it's good to put the myths to bed, really. You know, like I said, you don't have to like me. Quite honestly, I don't care. I'm not here to be liked. I've never done anything in my life to be liked. That's not my goal. You know, I'm all about peace, love, and informing people of what's coming. You know, as I say, peace, love, coffee, and chocolate. Hello. If you want to argue with any of those, fine, give it a shot. Anything else, you know, believe what you want. Believe what you want. I'm not here to sell you anything.
Oh, boy.
So.
Huh.
Have we found any other holes in prepping? Anything?
With
have
me?
You? Yeah. Anybody else? What holes have people found, and how have you found a way to plug them? That's my question.
Lord.
Yeah. So it's not just my question to you, it's my question to everybody. How, you know, that's really what this is all about. Communicate in the chat so that other people can go, oh yeah, I didn't think about that one. Or, oh, I have that too. And that's a great way to resolve it. How do people resolve the holes in their prepping. Everybody's different. So what are you doing? Let us know.
I think that few of the holes in my prepping are cleaning supplies because I go through them so fast.
Yeah.
More pet supplies.
They're saying that pet treats, because you know, they know that people in America, there's a good 60% of them that either have pets or know people that have pets. They're saying that pet treats are going to go up pretty high. So get used to the idea of
They
making your
do.
own.
They're expensive.
Yeah, but they're gonna go higher. It's like the coffee. People know. They know ahead of time. All these, that's why they keep track of everything with all those scanning codes. They know what people buy more of, you know? So they know that we love our pets, and we'll pay whatever it is for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So
Especially the good stuff, because I don't buy like dollar store stuff for my guys because I don't want them to have chemicals and garbage in their bellies, you know?
Mhm.
So I buy the good stuff.
So here's a little surprise. I hadn't planned on doing this, but this just came to me. So we're gonna try something new. All right. I think of how to do this now. At the end of the video, watch the video again. And in the comment section, not in the live chat, but in the comment section, make a comment. Make it a good comment. Pick anything you want, but make a comment. And from the people with this chat tonight, we will do a random drawing. Okay?
Holy cow. Trish.
I'll do a random drawing. This
With
will
that
prove,
coin?
I hope, to other people out there that I am not here for anything but to help people. And if afterward you desire to still send me hate mail, whether you win this or not, then go blow smoke, because really, I don't want to hear it, okay? So for the people that put a comment in the comment section after the video, not the live chat, I will do a random drawing. And I don't know if we'll do it next week, but we will announce live who gets it. And at that point, all you will have to do is contact Autumn with your contact information, where you want this sent to, and I will do so. All right?
And what kind of comment do they have to leave? Just anything?
Well, I mean, challenge me, please. Not just a comment, but challenge me. Give me a question. Give me a challenge that we can turn around and have a discussion over. All right? Something that we can, but make it a good comment. Don't tell me that I'm a fool, because
Yeah.
I will ixnay you in a minute. But for anyone that truly wants real answers or to share real information with real people that is positive and going to make a difference in their life, in the lives of others, we will do a random drawing for the comments. Now,
Okay.
again, if it's just a high, no, we really want some topics. We want something that's going to be able to bring up discussions.
Right.
Ask a question. Ask a question that hasn't been in the video. So we've been 3. This is our 3rd video. Watch the other 2 videos if you haven't yet. I don't want a repeat question. Give it something, give me some kind of question that will make the next topic. So we'll answer your question in the next go around, as well as do a random drawing. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not saying how many times I'm going to do that. We'll do that this next time. I do have a moderately limited supply to be able to do that sort of thing with. But this is the where did I put it? This is the hang on a second here. This was the coin that I just tossed back there. So that'll be the one.
What a surprise. That's awesome. Okay.
Something different. I want to, help others, and it won't be contacting me. It'll be contacting Autumn.
Yep.
So, what other questions, comments, anything that we can address or not?
I don't know. We've covered a lot of bases tonight.
So, with regard to the title and the Great Reset, wow, a lot is coming up. This is not a flash in the pan and it's going to happen overnight. It is gradual. There'll be a lot of things coming up. That's why we're doing it in episodes. And as things come up, I'll keep you as informed as I possibly can.
Right.
Not saying that I know all of it, not even close, but I know a lot of it. And there aren't too many people these days that are willing to go through the individual comments and perhaps give you as much detail.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to get the comments in.
Yes, I know.
Because they only pick a certain amount of them. They only have so much time. So whatever we can do, we will.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll also pick from the comments from
Yes.
when the live ends.
Yeah.
We'll do it that way too.
So afterward, people submit questions that you may have, or, you want to be part of that drawing. Then, like I said, we will do a random drawing from the comments, but also we'll make sure we can take those comments and go back the following week and answer questions that I may not have in the live chat.
Okay. There's, I don't know if there's conversations in between people or, yeah, I don't know. All right. We have been going at this for an hour and 32 minutes.
Okay. Well, I hit it at the right time. I don't have the clock on the opposite end of my stuff here, so I have no idea what time it is.
Yeah.
I just know when I have to turn a light on, maybe we're getting a little bit further.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. I got to start cooking dinner for Sean.
All right.
Oh no.
So, next week, episode 2, and we'll hit more on what is up in the current news next week, the news that you won't hear in the MSM. And that ought to be interesting because I have other stuff that you don't, because I haven't sent it to you yet. Okay.
And when you do send it, I will most likely be making a video about it. If I don't get into trouble with it.
It's a little bit of a teaser for next week. So no, this you won't get in trouble for. But it's a little bit of a teaser for next week. It has nothing to do with, that. No. So.
It's insane.
It is world news for sure, though, and a lot of what I have sent you recently that we have not really discussed, but it's along those lines.
All right.
So.
All right, guys. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all tomorrow. I love you. Stay safe, stay positive, keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Bye.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.